Hey, y'all. Y'all, happy holidays to everyone. Y'all, we back with a couple stories that we're gonna get into today. Go ahead on get you some to eat and everything. Right now, y'all, I'm basically painting some videos right now. I can, but I just don't know how to do it. I think I found out today how to. But anywho, we're gonna get into a couple of topics. Cases, high profile cases. It's a couple high profile cases that I want to get into today. Welcome, like I said, welcome to the Real Deal Funny Acting Grandma Lanita podcast. Today I want to get into Rob Reiner'S and him and his wife murder and what made Nick go the route that he did to his parents. I want to also talk about Jonbenet Ramsey. Jonbenet Ramsey is one of my high profile cases that I saw from the beginning. I used to watch Jonbenet Ramsey, y'all model. I used to love how that little girl model, how smart she was, how she dressed, how the parents was. They was rich and famous. I was really into Jonbenet Ramsey's story when she was a little girl. Right now, she would have been 35 now. She would have been still young, 35-year-old girl now. This happened 30 years ago with Jonbenet Ramsey. Now, and also, I want to get into the D4VD David high profile case. So these three cases that I want to basically talk about this morning. I really want to get into. I know a lot of y'all probably don't like these kind of cases, but when it comes down to mystery cases, I just be curious about why did it happen. Now, when it come down to Rob Reiner'S situation, that argument that broke out at his house for a holiday. He had a family gathering at his house, and Nick came, and Nick wasn't dressed for the occasion. And Nick been going through a lot, y'all. His son, Rob, just in case y'all haven't been following the case. I used to look at Rob a lot on what's the show? He was the son. But his son, Nick, allegedly was under the influence or something went on where him and his father got into it. And you're never too grown for your parents. If you don't want to respect them or go around them. So they had the occasion that they had at their home for the holiday. He came in there with a hoodie on. That when you wear a hoodie somewhere and everybody else dressed up, you know how your parents are, you know what kind of parents you have. So whatever you under, I don't think it's fair for you and right for you to bring that disturbance to your parents' house. If you don't want to dress right, if you don't want to this and you don't want to that, just don't come. Just dismiss yourself. I don't know why people think that they have to show up ignorant. You know what I mean? They have to show up to be disrespectful at somebody else's situation, occasions, house, whatever. Just go ahead on. Don't show up. So situation broke out, and he shot his mom and his dad. So he arrested. Now since he arrested, he thought he was gonna get away with it, y'all. He thought he was gonna get away with what he did to his parents. But he should have known that he wasn't going to get away with what he did to his parent. So those his decision, those are his consequences. So right now he locked up in jail, and they keeping an eye on Robert Reiner's son, Nick. They keeping an eye on Nick because Nick can't handle jail, but he did that to his parents. And I don't even know why Nick did that, because I kind of assumed that Nick was under the influence of something. And he always had been on something. Y'all, I just don't understand what's going on with that situation. But you got good parents, you ain't got to do nothing but ask them for money. And they got some money, got insurance policy and money. But if you take them away, you take them out, you're not gonna even get the money. Okay. Also, let's get into Jonbenet Ramsey. Now, Jonbenet Ramsey was a case that like I said, I followed when I was young. I was looking at Jonbenet. That's a high profile case. Jonbenet Ramsey was that little girl, y'all. When I was young, I was way older than her, but never near her age because she was a baby. I used to like to look at models, parents putting their kids in model, because I had my kids in modeling for different programs. So Jonbenet was always a little girl that was a brilliant little girl that will win contests. I used to like to see her profile. I like to see how she performed on the stage. And I had got into Jonbenet Ramsey, because I used to look at that little girl. That girl was sharp. I mean, and she was smart little girl. She was so young, y'all. And so I liked the parents, how the mom was there for the child, how the dad was taking care of his business, and he was there for the child. But then all of a sudden, I was watching the news, and they said what somebody did to Benet. I don't even know Kenny Amanda. Who is Kenny Amanda? But yeah, John. When I heard that what happened to Jonbenet Ramsey, she's so little. Oh, I know you're talking about. You're talking about Amanda. Are you talking about? See, I covered so many cases. The young man who we were looking for, that something happened to. I think he was his mom wanted him to come home Thanksgiving. That's what you're talking about. Okay, anyway, let me go ahead. Let me keep on going. So when it kind of disturbed me a little bit when oh yeah, you were trying to tell me something. Amanda, you were trying to tell me that I wish it was a way you can get up in with me, but I just don't know how to. I'm still trying to work string out. But yeah, you were trying to tell me something. You were trying to tell me about Kenny Jackson. Yeah. You know what? They didn't talk about that. You know what? Once I got the update and put the update out there for y'all, I should have put Kenny Jackson name up here too. That was a mystery that was tripping me out, because the mom and her family went out there in the area where they found the car, and they couldn't find him. And then all of a sudden, his car showed up. Not his car, but his body showed up in the area where the parents was searched. This is weird. His case, they didn't talk about his case. They didn't put too much on Kenny case, but I did put some stuff out there for Kenny. But something about Kenny case. Kenny case remind me of them twins on top of Bear Mountain. Oh, your son was his friend? Wow. You know what? Amanda, if I can get you up here on the stage with me, can you tell me, would you be able to talk, or would you prefer not to talk? Tell me a little bit what your son think could have happened to him. because and what kind of boy he was. What wait, let me see. Hold on for me. See. Hold on for a minute. Hold on for 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna drop the it said you can get up here, but hold on. Let me drop this and see. Can I so you can tell me what he said. Okay, here we go. All right. Here we go. Hit that link right there for me. I'm gonna have to hit that link for me. And it should let you up in because I wanna know about Kenny Jackson. I need to add Kenny Jackson name. When I get off of here, I'm gonna add Kenny Jackson name. Okay. Oh, you at work. Oh. Oh, I thought you could come up. Okay. Um, what did your son? Okay, I know he's a good boy and everything. What your son think happened? Since he was his friend, what do your son think happened? Because I'm gonna add Kenny name. When we get off of here, I'm gonna add Kenny name. Kenny Jackson because I felt sorry for his mom, and when he left that skate park, then I think somebody was in his car. Uh, uh, what do you think son say happened, Amanda? What do your son think happened? And then while you getting that up, let me keep on. Let me keep going. Tell me what you think your son think happened. Now, y'all with the Jonbenet Ramsey, it's no way you can tell me that a little girl that age got a whole bedroom and on one side of the house. I don't like big houses. Can you use us? Probably gave a ride. Hold on. I can't see what the thing a ride. Hold on. You said he probably gave a ride to the wrong person. Okay, but what do your son do your son think that he gave the ride to a wrong person? And see, and what tripping me out about his case is about Kenny case is we ain't heard from none of his friend. And you said that your son was a friend of his. That's what I want to know. What do your son think happened? And then where did he pick the guy up? I wonder when you know what? I wonder when he left the park and went over to his friend's house. Went over to his friend's house in the neighborhood. Because he really didn't come in the neighborhood, he went the opposite way. Where did he pick this person up? And usually young people don't pick up people like that. That's what throw me out. They really don't pick up people like that. His case is case remind me they're not talking about it. Dang. Mm. And then what tripped me out was with Kenny, he had two pair of cleats in his bag. He had a pair of orange like look at cleats, but he went to Kennesaw. Kennesaw State is one of them states that used to want my step team used to send me some back in the day. Let my step team, I think it was like in 2018 or 17, one of my step team to come up there and step. So he had some cleats, two pair of cleats in his book bag as if he was going to play. Now when they said cleats, I didn't know was it football cleat, was it soccer cleats? What was it lacrosse? But it was dark that day. Did he go spend the night on somebody's house? because his phone turned out. Now his case was a mystery to me, just like Jonbenet Ramsey case. Um, yeah, he escaped. Cleat doesn't make. Yeah, see, he didn't need cleats to show down. Them cleats threw me off, Amanda. The cleats threw me off because he don't need cleats to get on a skateboard. No, he need flat tennis shoes to be on a flat shoes on a skateboard. And my thing is his phone records. Can it work oh, he work at a shoe store. Maybe selling then. Yeah. Maybe he's supposed to meet us since I'm glad you came up. Maybe he's supposed to meet someone to sell the cleats too. And you know how you go on since you said that, you know how you go on Facebook and you meet somebody and we from Atlanta, we'll do that. We'll go meet somebody and go sell the product to them. And something happened in the mix of him selling the product, shoes to somebody. He could have been giving the shoes away. We don't know. But it seemed like he met up with somebody and then, something happened. And to me, for this situation to happen like this, I think he met up with somebody young and they robbed him, but they couldn't get his PIN number. Yeah. See, they didn't. I believe he met up with someone so who were gonna get those cleats too, or we're gonna sell those cleats to him for nothing, for a little bit of nothing, about $15, $20. And them people try to rob him, but in the midst of robbing him, they already had shot him, they already underlie him. Some kind of way they allegedly underlie him without getting the PIN. He wouldn't get his PIN. He didn't Kenny didn't give his PIN number up. Allegedly. Now, since you said it, I don't believe he gave his PIN number. So since you ain't gonna give us the PIN number, then we're gonna do you like this. And they hate to say it, y'all. I'm not racist. I'm not prejudiced or nothing. I believe it was outside his race. Was involved, allegedly involved in this situation. It was outside his race, and they were young, and he didn't get hit. He didn't. And then too, y'all, in situations like this, when you meet up with a person, you get catfish. He could have met up with an older person. We don't know who he met up with. Yeah, we don't know. I'm gonna make sure I add Kenny name to my list of name. Now go back to Jonbenet Ramsey. Now I used to watch Jonbenet Ramsey, and I tried to y'all, I cried on that little girl case. When she was young, like I said, I used to have my kid Marla names too, like school stuff, playground, like facilities that sell children stuff. So they used to get free toys, but free stuff. And Benet Ramsey seemed like to me that it was somebody who wanted money. But they did that little girl, somebody was obsessed with Jonbenet Ramsey. I think that with that little girl, somebody was obsessed with her. In this case, with I'm gonna make sure I add Kenny name up there. Let me see can I add. Hold on for a minute. See can I add Kenny Jackson. Hold on. Hold on for a second. Let me see Kenny Jackson. Hold on for a minute. Add it. Kenny. Let me add Kenny name since we talking about Kenny. Kenny Jackson. Okay, I had to add Kenny name. Let me see, can I get back in the studio? Okay. Let me see, can I get back in the studio? Hold on, y'all. y'all, I'm back in the studio. I got to learn how to work StreamYard to where I can find out. It's a whole lot I got to work on. Need to go to class. Yeah, I add Kenny Jackson name to my title. So in case somebody want to come in and talk about Kenny Jackson. But what I was saying before I added Kenny name was Jonbenet Ramsey. One thing I don't like about big houses, people like what they like. But I had kids. I had 5, and 4 stayed here and 1 stayed with the grandmama. But the thing was, my house that I have was a 3-bedroom. So I had 2 girls in one, and my older daughter was grown, so she had her own place in Florida. And then my son had his own room. But I can see their room. I don't like big houses, y'all. So with Jonbenet Ramsey, I didn't like that baby. The daughter was on one side of the house. Hold on, y'all. The daughter was on one side of the house, and the parent was on the other side of the house. I didn't think that was good. Hold on, y'all. I want to put here that Kenny together. I didn't like that. Your children on one side of the house, and then you on the other side of the house. You don't know what's going on the other side of the house. If you're on one side of the house and your children on the other side, I don't like that, y'all. I'm funny acting about a lot of stuff. And so when I found out what happened to Jonbenet Ramsey, which she was so young, why would somebody either in the family that was obsessed with her, did her like that? And the way they did that little girl, y'all, it is terrible, horrifying, hideous. It was just nefarious. It was just so bad. Go with who the other person? D4VD high profile case is I was doing D4VD and Kenny Jackson case came across me, and D4VD high profile case is he was an internet person. He stayed on the internet, which Kenny was out in the opening. He was going to college. He was going to college. He was going to work. He had a leisure time. His leisure time was being on the skateboard, being around friends to make him happy. So Kenny was doing everything he's supposed to do. Now, which is David spent a lot of time on the internet. He did homeschool, but he didn't go to college. But he was mentally on the internet personnel. He was like a personating on the internet. That's the difference between D4VD and he really didn't want to be an artist. He was dealing with young people on the internet, meeting up with them and doing a lot of things. So D4VD is kind of like, I wonder how his situation got like it did. No way that David D4VD I don't know why people be taking up. I've been noticing something in a lot of these cases that if they some of these cases are racist. I don't care what nobody says. Some of these cases are racist. They try to make it seem like this person is better than this person. And you can't look at cases like that. You got to be honest when you're doing these cases, because his manager, I don't trust neither one of D4VD managers. I am curious about mentally what did David mind setting thinking. You know what I mean? I got to be around people, y'all, to pick up on you. I can pick up on you, even if you're talking to me. But these high proud, I don't like how they did Kenny Jackson case. I don't like how they proclaimed Kenny Jackson case. I don't like how they did his case. It was like he was a young black boy. And y'all, it's not, I'm not racist at all. I like all nationality people. What you don't like is just what you don't like. What I like is what I like. I'm not racist. I get along. I get along in a race. You don't want to be around me, just don't be around me. But I think that in Kenny Jackson case, Kenny family got money. Kenny mom got money. She comfortable. She got nice home, nice money, got it going on. And Kenny has it going on too. But I think, like you said, Kenny met up with the wrong person and tried to sell and met up with somebody, didn't know it was going to turn out like this. And why people are taking people's life, y'all, is I'm trying to get up in their mind. Why are they taking people's life now? Why did they take that young boy life away from him like that? He gave them, he probably said, I'm not gonna get, to me, it seemed like Kenny knew the person to me in a way. I'm just thinking. It seemed like Kenny Jackson, for those who don't know Kenny Jackson, a young boy, just all of a sudden they hit that news. I seen it on the news and I picked it up. And then all I know, I couldn't find nothing on the news about him no more and nothing. Then I went on Facebook. I said, oh, wow. So they found Kenny? That's weird. Why it didn't hit the news? It hit Channel 5, but it didn't hit everybody. This is Atlanta. And the same way about Nazir and Kadir on Bell Mountain, everything is hiding. It's secretive, y'all. A lot of stuff, high profile cases, they'll keep it quiet. They'll keep it quiet. They don't want you to talk about it. On a lot of these high profile cases, they don't want, and that hurt me how they did Kenny. He was a young black boy, educated, doing everything a child's supposed to do. And further his education, he wasn't dumb or nothing like. Had his own car and did everything he supposed to did, respectful and everything. And then his case went quiet. Kenny case did not hit that internet like it's supposed to. A lot of cases it's a shh, hush us, but ain't gonna hush. And it really shocked me that big as Atlanta is, that when it come down to the young men in Atlanta, they don't put enough awareness on. The women do, but the men's don't. We need more men to step up in a lot of these cases and speak on it. Like Robert Reiner'S son, mentally he was going through his problem, his addiction. These kids are doing stuff. Some of them, I ain't talking about Kennedy, but I'm saying that a lot of them is dipping and dabbing in stuff that they don't need to dip and dab in. And all depends on who their friends are. Y'all got to listen to your parents when the parents tell you ain't got no friend. Don't trust nobody. It's hard to trust people, y'all. Whatever you do, you got to be careful who you messing with. You got to be careful who you messing with. If you but it'll make you turn on your family. It'll make you turn on your family. And Nick and Robert Reiner'S case, he been had a issue. He had been had an issue. Now with Jonbenet Ramsey case, I never thought the daddy did, but I always thought that the daddy had know something. And what tripped me out, Patsy died. Patsy, Jonbenet's mother died, but she had an illness, and she died. I think Patsy knew more than what we think she knew. Yeah, I just like mystery movies, and I like to I'm a critical thinker, and I like to think. I always been wanted to be a detective. Uh, made it through the police academy, but the only thing I just wouldn't get the hearing aid because you need all your hearing when you. I'm thinking I do would get a hearing aid by that then, but I always want to be a detective. I always been a critical thinker, and I ain't never been a person that I had to figure stuff out myself. You know what I mean? In these high profile cases, I'm gonna be here. I'm not going nowhere. I can figure out a case. Only thing about his case, on the thing about Kenny Jackson case is I don't like the awareness that they put on his case. I really don't. I think that somebody knew the whole time, and when they took his body to that field, it's somebody in another race that did this to him. I really do. I believe Kenny met the wrong person. Where he knew he then what you call these young people trust. They think everybody their age is their friend, but they are not. They are not their friend. Kenny deserve more awareness on his case. Now, David D4VD, only thing throwing me out about D4VD case is he's another one. He hangs, it's nothing wrong. Listen, y'all, it's nothing wrong with hanging with the outside of your race. It's nothing wrong with it. I ain't said it. There's nothing wrong with it. But you'll be surprised who jealous of you and how much knowledge you have. D4VD David got a lot of he's smart. He uh his friends turned out to be the internet friends. Um D4VD. His I think he ended up with haters. I think D4VD David is another case that with jealousy in there. Now one thing I can say about D4VD is something ain't mentally right to me. And I think a lot of thing about D4VD mentally is hidden from us. Mentally, something is hidden. Why of all his mama kids, he the only one went didn't go to homes. He the only one want to do homeschool. Even I wanted my kids to do homeschool, y'all. But he said then nobody want to be his friend. Why people didn't want to be his friend? And then with the D4VD, I'm not saying he did this, and I'm just saying, in his case, the girls are starting to talk. One of the suspects is the girl that I think she hung around with him. She hung around David, and it's weird, y'all. This is weird. It's weird how you come up in life. You come up in life. You make it to the top as young as D4VD. You make it up to the top. You climb up high, and then you make it in the world, and then you got haters that don't like what you're doing. And when him and his brother, when David and his brother, I found out that we don't know what's going on here, y'all. We don't know what's going on. I think the mama know a lot. I think D4VD mother knows a lot. And I will if I was Kenny Jackson mother, I will hire me a PI. I hired me a PI to find out what happened to Kenny. Kenny case went quiet, y'all. Kenny Jackson case went so quiet and numb into, you'll say, it's just like his case remind me of, but it didn't get enough airtime. Kenny Jackson case, um, didn't get enough airtime to be a young man in Atlanta. I just don't understand it part. I don't. And I wish my computer would work, and I'll go on there and I'm gonna buy me another computer. I'll go on there and wonder what happened. Why did it happen to him? Why? It's something. I think that his mom could tell us a little bit more, but you can't put everything in the opening on these cases. You can't put everything out there. You can't expose everything on the internet. You know, and the internet is not a good place to expose a lot of stuff that happened to the young black boys, young black girls, y'all, and then and see, make it so sad is a lot of people sit back and watch out, and when they, I don't understand. My thing is with a lot of these, say like Reiner's son, if he had a issue, if he had an addiction, he should have got help. But you can't make people get help, y'all. You can't make people get help. People gotta want help. But stay away from your family if you in a situation like that and your mind setting, don't nobody want that stuff around them. If your mind setting is different from your parents, don't go around your parents. You don't have to put up, your parents don't have to put up with you. So now Nick is in prison. They gotta watch on him. They gotta watch on Kenny. Not Kenny, but Nick Reiner'S. So yeah, y'all, I will be keeping an eye on a lot of these cases, especially when it come down to boys, because they figure that boys, and it's time for y'all to start taking each other life. Cause y'all, it like everything is not gonna come out on social media. Everything that these cases and everything like that, it's not gonna come, it's not gonna, they're not gonna put it out on the news. They don't want to do that because the mom the mom can get her PI, the mom get her private investigator. She can figure it out, they can figure out what happened. Cause now we're living in society cameras. No way they shouldn't try to solve a case. Now with the Jonbenet Ramsey case is 30 years ago, they supposed to have solved this case, y'all. 30 years ago, she would have been 35 today. Now y'all want to come out with some technology. Y'all want to use some kind of DNA technology. Y'all didn't do the DNA on that girl back then. Shoot, the killer may be buried. The killer may not be alive. In Jonbenet Ramsey. Why are they hiding D4VD case? LAPD is hiding that case. And you know why hiding it? You know why they keeping that case on the down low? Due to the fact that the witnesses, to protect their witnesses. Okay? Because a lot of people that surround themselves with David is talking. Well, do I think David innocent? I don't think he did nothing. I think he know, but I don't think he did it. You know, I don't think he it's just almost like Jarvis Butts. I don't think Jarvis Butt took Nazaire Harris' life. So yeah, y'all. So I'm gonna keep y'all updated, and the Robert Reiner's son, Nick case. I'm gonna keep an eye on Nick for you. And also I'm gonna keep an eye on Kenneth Jackson case. I'm gonna also keep an eye on Jonbenet Ramsey case. And I'm gonna keep an eye on D4VD. So during the holiday, I'm gonna be coming in. Y'all can see me in and out, in and out. On my cases, I'm gonna come in, get y'all a highlight. All right, y'all. Y'all go get on with y'all the rest of y'all day. And I am out.